Not having the momentum that I feel like I had when I was making more calls, making more offers, and also feeling like I'm on a hamster wheel doing the same actions, but the outcome feels very similar each time. And it has me in a mindset of each time I make an offer, just, waiting for it to end up with the same result. I just see deals getting done left and right with people in the storage rooms community. It's like, what am I missing?
I don't think that's the right question to ask. You don't have a knowledge gap. Your biggest Achilles heel has been your mindset. You have been your own worst enemy in this journey. Only thing literally holding you back right now is yourself. Your confidence account is low. Do you believe you have the ability to buy a storage facility?
100%.
The only way you don't is if you stop. If you've ever felt stuck or discouraged, then you're in the right place. This video is going to be directly for you because that's exactly where Dan finds himself. If you haven't had an opportunity to follow along on this series of conversations we've been having, from Dan getting first started in self-storage to where he's at today, then I want to encourage you to go on that ride, because there's so many lessons to extract, and there's so much from his story that's inspiring in many ways, and I think you're going to relate to. We've all experienced feeling frustrated, feeling stuck, discouraged, because we want something and yet it feels like it's getting further and further away. What I want to do now is turn it over to Dan and have him share with us what has him feeling stuck and discouraged. And let's see if we can pinpoint the root cause and help him go from stuck to free and loose, from confused and from discouraged to having clarity and having confidence, to be able to sometimes just hit the reset button, recalibrate, and then move forward. So, Dan, with that being said, man, we ended the last conversation with you saying, hey, I feel stuck and discouraged. Those are your words. What specifically? What is it about your situation right now as it relates to your storage business that has you feeling stuck and discouraged?
Not having the momentum, not having the momentum that I feel like I had when I was making more calls, making more offers, and also feeling like I'm on a hamster wheel doing the same actions, but even though I'm learning along the way a little bit differently each time, each offer I make, each owner I talk to is a little bit different than all of them before, as far as what that seller situation is or what the storage facility offers, whether it's an old facility and needs a lot of work, or newer facility, it doesn't need as much work and the owner's not as motivated to sell, or just whatever the differences are. There's always some things I'm learning with each offer I make and each seller I talk to. But the outcome feels very similar each time. And it has me in a mindset of each time I make an offer, just, waiting for it to end up with the same result. And I feel like it affects the way I talk to sellers and the way I go through the process of making the offer, not hearing back on the offer, and then it just kind of fizzles out and it's on to the next one. And I try not to get excited about each one, but each time I find a seller who's open to selling and it seems like a great fit with the storage facility that they want to sell. It seems like a well-kept facility, but it's just really operationally behind from what it could be. It just doesn't seem to go anywhere each time. So that's the stuck part. And after the countless offers I've made, I know we've had this conversation before and I've reset before, and the answer is typically just find somewhere to start and just start. And it's not gonna be catching up on everything it's in a week, but it's just finding one place to start and starting. And I've done that, and it does get the ball rolling again and build some momentum. but the outcome still seems the same. So
Yeah.
as far as just the result, and that result being closing on my first deal. So
Okay. So
if I'm measuring it that way, that's what I mean as far as
okay.
the outcome
Yeah.
being the same.
So you're measuring progress to the outcome.
Right.
You're not measuring progress to the activities that stacked consistently over time. I think you believe. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me, because if you don't believe that, then we need to address that. But right now, you are attaching success to crossing that finish line. It's not tied to the pursuit of that success, to the pursuit of closing your first deal. Now, naturally, you got involved in storage because you want to own and operate self-storage because of what it can do for you. It gives you options. It gives you time freedom, eventually financial freedom. So of course that's the end desired goal we want. But right now, your brain has associated, hey, I've been down this path before. I've sent offers. They don't go anywhere. And it's almost self-imposed that you are expecting. You said something really, really important. It's like you're not expecting that to go anywhere. And that energy you're coming across is absolutely not only affecting your confidence. And a mentor of mine told me years ago that the number one job of every entrepreneur is to protect their confidence. So right now, your confidence account is low, if not getting close to depleted. You're doing the actions, but you're kind of doing it in vain. You're like, I'm doing it. It almost feels like you're doing it to check a box because you know you need to do it, but it's not that you're expecting that output and activity to lead anywhere. So now that I've shared that, let me take a step back. Do you believe you have the ability to buy a storage facility? And please be honest and truthful. If you doubt that and don't believe it, I need you to let me know. Do you believe that you can do it?
100%.
Okay, 100%. That was pretty definitive. So you don't have any doubts about, does this business work? Are there deals out there? Is the market overly saturated because of interest rates and this and that? Like, do we have any objections or concerns when it comes to like the external, like that you have any doubts about? Is this possible? I see people closing deals, but I don't know that I buy it. Like, do you have any concerns or doubts about that?
Nope.
Okay, you have no concerns or doubts about the asset class, the market. Like, you believe deals are out there. You said 100%, I believe I can do this. Okay, fantastic. Had the answer been different, then this conversation would have gone in a different direction. But you have to protect your confidence and never allow that belief in yourself to be shaken. You have to be. I saw Cody Sanchez. I wish I could. Cody Sanchez, pretty well-known entrepreneur and influencer. I'm going to see if I can pull something. I saw something that she shared today on Facebook that comes up in my mind right now as it relates to this conversation. And I'm pulling up her profile now, and I'm going to see if I can find it in a quick second. But she said something along the lines of, you have to be dumb enough to try and smart enough to execute, right? And it really resonated with me. I like the way she put that. You got to be dumb enough to try and smart enough to execute, or something along those lines. And it's true. We're going to get punched in the face. We're going to get knocked down. We're going to have significantly more setbacks, failures, and people that tell us no than we are people that tell us yes. The separator are those that are dumb enough to keep going. And that, when I say dumb enough, I mean that in a compliment, and so did she. Versus those that are just going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop short. Okay, here it is. Underrated superpower. Just dumb enough to believe in yourself, just smart enough to execute. There it is right there. Just dumb enough to believe in yourself, just smart enough to execute.
Yeah.
As long as you don't allow your belief in yourself to be shaken, you got more than a puncher's chance. But you cannot go into a fight expecting to lose. You can't go into a race expecting not to cross the finish line. And that's exactly what you're doing right now. You're making offers expecting them to go nowhere, because of your past experiences, because of the fact that you've been under contract, what, 3 times on deals now? Is that right? How many times have you been under contract? Three.
One official signed contract, but I've been deep in conversations with sellers
What's up?
on
With
site
several.
visits.
Right. And now, we just talked about your joint venture with some other storage winners on the previous conversation, and you guys have been under contract officially. So there's been at least a couple where you've been a part of a deal where it's like, because I remember you've gone to do on-site due diligence.
Yep.
Okay. So I think the first thing that has to shift is your energy and your mindset before anything else. You don't have a knowledge gap. You don't have, like, you got the tactical down. You know how to find deals. You know how to underwrite deals. You know how to have conversations with sellers. Your challenge isn't knowledge-based or tactical. You're not lacking the tools, resources. God knows you're not lacking the support and the environment and the community. You have all that. Your biggest Achilles heel has been your mindset. You have been your own worst enemy in this journey. Now, that's from my perspective. I don't want to put that on you. Tell me, push back if you think otherwise. What is the reason you shared that you feel stuck and discouraged because you haven't been able to cross the finish line and buy a deal? You say that when you have a conversation with an owner and you make an offer, you tend to get excited, but you're like, it's probably not going to go anywhere. How much do you think that mindset, energy, and approach is holding you back?
I'd say so. I could see how if I'm a seller and somebody's not coming across as confident that they're going to bring this deal across the finish line, then, time and doubt kill deals in a seller's mind. So
that's so well said. Time certainly kills deals, and doubt won't even let it get out of the starting gates. And I've heard you, I've coached you on some conversations I've heard with sellers, and what's one of the first things I've shared with you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one what you're looking for here.
Well, how you speak is very shy and timid, and in part that's your personality, right? But you know so much more than you give yourself credit for. You're so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. It's interesting that not only myself, but others in the community hold you and see you in high regard, but yet at times I don't think you view yourself in that regard. And I have heard several conversations with sellers where it's like you're tiptoeing around questions and you're tap dancing and you're like almost like acquiescing to them. Like you give up, there's no frame control in the conversation. It's like you need them, they don't need you. And I remember I encouraged you to read a couple of books by Oren Klaff. I think Pitch Anything was one book and Flip the Script is another one. And I remember you, to your credit, man, you always do the work and you're super coachable and you come back and you're like, man, you learn a lot from it. And I think you've grown in many respects, but I think you have 2 things that are working against you. You have a lot working for you. The 2 things are holding against you. The great thing is that these are things you can control. It's one, it's the mindset going in. It's almost like a self-sabotage. Like you're dooming yourself and your chances before you even start. That's number 1 that I think is holding you back. Number 2, and I think they go hand in hand and they're tied. That one wagon is hitched to the other. Is you don't come across confident. And when you don't come across confident, you don't instill that energy and belief in the other person that you're the person to get this done. And we've talked about that conversation of like, what happens when you chase a dog? The dog's going to run.
Right.
What happens when you start running away from the dog? The dog runs to you. And so you need to think about this dynamic with sellers. And if you're single and you're looking to find somebody, it's kind of the same thing, right? Now, don't take my advice for it. I've been married for going on 14 years. So like, what do I know? But like, from what I do remember, you certainly don't chase the girl. Okay? In fact, you kind of like, you tease and you flirt a little bit, you drop a breadcrumb and you lean back, right? You don't lean in. you know, and it's like that kind of dynamic. And I'm kind of being tongue in cheek playful here, but like, dude, you gotta, because you believe in yourself, you have to stop assuming the worst, assuming that the deal's not gonna go anywhere. That's killing you before you get started. Number two, contagious enthusiasm sells. Contagious enthusiasm sells. When we started working together, if I would have been like, oh, Dan, like, I don't know if I can help you, or like, I'm just not quite sure. Like, dude, we would have never gotten to this point. Like, because why? Because if I don't believe in myself, why should you believe in me? And dude, my confidence in your ability to close a deal has not dropped an ounce. I still believe in you today the same way I believed in you the first day that we had a conversation. You don't need all the other stuff. You have everything. The only thing literally holding you back right now is yourself, because of how you're thinking about these situations based on the past experiences you've had. And then the fact that I just don't think you're showing up with a lot of confidence. You don't have that contagious enthusiasm. And it doesn't mean you need to hop on a call and like rah, rah, and be something you're not. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you're just not communicating with authority. Like, there's no frame control. It's almost like you need the deal and you need them more than they need you. And I need you to, no pun intended, because I'm gonna allude to the title of that book that you read. I need you to flip the script. When I go into a conversation with a seller, or even somebody that's interested in joining Storage Wins, or whatever, it could be any number of situations I've been in. I am not thinking about closing that deal on that phone call. That's not what I'm thinking about. I'm literally assessing them. I'm a doctor, right? You have an issue. You have a challenge. You have a reason you're coming to me. What is that, and can I help? I'm asking questions. You know, you walk into the doctor's office, the doctor doesn't just like take out the prescription book and say, like, you know, write in his or her like really messy handwriting and say, here, take this and go see me in 6 months. No, what do? They sit you down. They ask you, what's going on? Tell me about what's going on. What are you feeling? What's the, like, they start asking you a bunch of questions. That doctor, you think that doctor feels pressure to make sure that, like, no, the doctor's you're there because they need you. I need the doctor's help. Doctor doesn't need my help. That's the mindset I want you to go into these conversations with.
Yeah, that's great.
And by the way, man, I don't have any illusions that I'm going to share with you something that you don't already know or haven't heard. And it doesn't matter. It's not about what we know. It's about what we believe, and then how we act moving forward and how we behave. And that all comes internal first. And the way that you keep gaining that confidence is through the small wins, man, by continuing to show up, but I need you to suspend that energy. I'd rather you just take it out behind the barn and like take a shotgun to it and kill that energy of like, oh, like, I'm excited, I'm hopeful, but I'm going to send this offer and it's probably not going to go anywhere. Like, dude, like, let God handle that. Right? Like, you don't have to figure everything out on your own. And I think you have all this weight on your shoulders because you're trying to force a circle into a square. You want it so bad and you're squeezing it so hard that your hand isn't open to receive anything right now. And I think you just need to, like, let go, man. Let go, let God. I know that might sound cliche, and for some that might rub them the wrong way, and that's okay. They can tune out. But you don't got to figure this out on your own, dude. You don't have to try to make this work on your own. You just got to show up diligently. You got to do your part and just keep showing up, and let the outcome be what the outcome's going to be. But don't self-sabotage by thinking it's not going to go anywhere. Like, man, thoughts are real things. Like, thoughts are real things, and what you expect is what you're going to continue to get more and more out of. If you expect these deals to like not pan out, more times than not, they're not going to pan out. And then you're going to get disappointed, and you're going to get stuck. You're going to feel stuck and discouraged and frustrated. And it's like this never ending cycle. You get to break that cycle right now. The question is, do you want to stay in that place? And it's a true question I have for you. I'm not leading you somewhere. I want you to be honest with me. You get to choose to stay in that cycle right now, or you get to decide, man. Like, I know you said it before, and you kind of said it like, You said it in a way in which it was like, man, I've hit the reset button before, and here I am. But it's that same thought and energy that you're applying to your storage business. I've made the offer before, and it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, all makes sense. That's great.
So
Helpful mindset stuff.
yeah, man. I don't. It's not a light switch, Dan. What is a light switch is you get to decide if you want to continue to stay in this place, or you're going to be like, hey, man, like I'm going to shift the way I'm showing up because I'm made in God's image, and because he's my business partner, and because I don't have to figure it all out. I just got to show up and do my part and let the chips fall where they will. And if you just show up daily and you continue to do that and you operate with the right mindset, I'm betting on you to win, dude.
Yeah, I love all of that. It's really helpful as a reminder to just read that over and over. I'm jotting notes as you're talking.
I know you are, because but you don't, these aren't things you don't already know. I don't need you to read them. I just need you to internalize it. Right. And you could argue that by reading it, you're going to internalizing it, but it's just, you get to choose what you want to believe. Right. Let me give you an example. What's the first thing that comes to mind? What do you believe in? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Myself?
Okay. Why?
Because I put a lot of time into what I'm doing, and I've seen the results, and I know the path I'm on will get me there.
Do you believe that? Because the way you said, I'm not questioning if you believe it, but the way in which you said it makes me question if you believe it. That's it right there. I believe.
I know.
I believe that you believe that. But if I didn't know you, I would question if you believe it because of the way you communicated it. Now, look, dude, maybe a part of it is the fact that like you know in the back of your mind, like, hey, this is being recorded and people are going to listen to this, and so like maybe that is playing a little bit of a role. Whereas if you and I were having a conversation that wasn't recorded, maybe you would have said it with a little bit more conviction. So like maybe there's a function of that, but I also think that is showing up in conversations with sellers, where like you believe in yourself, you believe you can get these deals done, but I don't know that it's translating in your voice, in your tone, in the words to sellers. And I think that's causing them to kind of have a little bit of a false start. Like, oh, I'm not sure. What if you showed up and you just like were like, if what you shared with me is true, and I believe it is, that you believe in yourself because of you have far more evidence of success than failure, despite the fact that you and me and everybody else, we're going to continue to fail, or they're going to continue to tell us no. But you don't need to win. Think about baseball, man. Like the Hall of Famers, they failed 70% of the time. You know, Hall of Famers get into the Hall of Fame with a 300 batting average, or 310, 320, 330, right? That means out of every 10 at bats, they're failing 7 times. We don't need an 80, 90, 100% success rate. And in business, sometimes you just need one, 1 or 2. It could be that first deal that gets you halfway to 10. But in order to cross that finish line, man, I think you need to start to shift some things in your how you're thinking about yourself. It's interesting because what you're telling me that you believe in yourself isn't aligning with how you're communicating. I need both those things to be lockstep, because contagious enthusiasm sells. So, dude, I'm gonna hit the pause here. Reflect back, man. What are you hearing? What are some of the things that maybe are jumping out at you right now?
That you're exactly right, and it's a really helpful reminder going into it to be more enthusiastic and confident in the phone calls. And so many times I've been steadfast in my belief in making this happen, and the more time that goes on, the harder it becomes to hold on to that. And I'm still confident that it will happen, that I'll close a deal, and I'll close another deal and another deal after that. But
what's fascinating to me though? I see the exact opposite. Same person, different story. Here's what I mean. You ever taken a statistics class before?
I skipped that one.
Okay. Well, I'll give you the crash course. And I say that with a smile on my face because here's what I do know. If I go to a casino, and I'm not a betting man, but if I go to a casino and I walk up to the roulette table, and roulette, I think I've heard, has some of the worst odds in the casino, right? 1 out of 36, 1 out of 37, whatever it is. I think 36. But instead of playing the numbers, I say, hey, 1,000 on black. Boom, red comes out. I lost 1,000. 2,000 on black. Boom, red comes out. Now I'm $3,000 in the hole. 6,000 on black. Eventually I'm gonna hit black. Now, I'm not, the analogy might be horrible in that I'm not telling you to gamble with your life and with your business. Obviously, that's not the point. The point is that eventually, statistically speaking, you're going to win because you keep showing up. And it's interesting to me that the story you framed is, hey man, the longer I go in this, the harder this becomes. The further it feels like I'm going to be able to attain it. I'm seeing the same dude. I just have a completely different story in my head. The movie I'm watching is, the longer this goes that he stays at it, the closer he's getting. Because it's just statistics. It's just you're showing up. You're gonna hit. You're gonna hit black. The only way you don't is if you stop. So I think the punchline, dude, I think the bow that I want to put on this particular one is, you got to choose what story you're going to tell yourself. And is that a story that lifts you up, or is that a story that pulls you down? And brother, if there's one thing you have, man, is desire and will and stick-to-itiveness, because you have every reason to give up and you haven't. That's the person that's dangerous. You know, I'm a big fan of like jiu-jitsu and just like UFC and MMA and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you hear fighters talk about like some of their most challenging fights. It's not the most talented. It's not the strongest. It's not the most skilled. It's the one that has so much heart, will, and desire that you got to kill them because they're going to keep coming. Seriously, it gives me chills as I say that because I've heard that from like numerous fighters. It's the one that just won't stop. They're going to keep coming. It's not the biggest or the strongest or anything else. And man, when I see you, that's what I think of. I see the dude that just keeps getting up and coming. And that's not blowing smoke, man. That's the truth. I have some evidence to back that up. But you got to continue to believe in yourself. And then I need you to translate that belief in your words, how you show up, your tonality, your energy, and your expectations. Expect success will happen eventually. But don't necessarily tie the progress to the end outcome. Tie the progress to you showing up every day and you know you're doing the right work. You've invested in yourself. You're in the right groups and environments. So just continue to show up, man. But I need you to shift your energy in how you do show up. Sorry, man, dude. Hopefully this...
It's hard. It's hard to take the pressure off. It's hard to take the pressure off myself.
Is it?
There's just different factors. There's external pressure. There's just myself, internal pressure to make it happen. And the longer it goes, the harder it gets. I understand the longer it goes, the closer it should feel. But another thing you often say is comparison's the thief of joy. But I just see deals getting done left and right with people in the storage rooms community, colleagues and mentors around me. And it's like, what am I missing? And
is that the best question to ask?
I don't know.
I think you do. Is that the best question to ask? What am I missing? If you ask yourself, what am I missing? What is your brain going to go find? It's going to go find answers to what it's going to go find answers to what you're missing. I don't think that's the right question to ask. are you a believer?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
100%? Like you believe in there's a God?
Yeah.
Okay. There are, I want you to lean in, and I don't know when's the last time you picked up your Bible. There are countless verses that speak to the external pressure that you speak of. It's arrogant in many ways, and I've been here before, by the way, so this isn't I'm not throwing a stone or casting judgment, but it's arrogant for us to believe that we can solve and fix everything. It's extremely arrogant. Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, that I will give you rest. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. There are so many Bible verses I would encourage you. That's what you have to read every day, not the notes that you've scribbled from a conversation with Alex Pardo. Like, dude, that's not what you need to listen to. That's not what I'm a voice of encouragement for you. I'm support, but I'm not the support. You know where the ultimate support comes from. And so, not to shift this into Sunday school, I guess is the first thing that came to mind. But we're both believers, man, and I think you're feeling this external pressure because you're trying to solve this all yourself. You're trying to like do it all yourself. And I think you need to let go, man. I think you need to let go. I think you need to continue to show up. I think you need to let go. And if you're going to read anything, I would encourage you to pick up that Bible. So, Joshua, I'm looking at several Bible verses that I pulled up here when you feel pressure. Joshua 1:9, command strength and courage, knowing God is with you wherever you go. Proverbs 3:5. I mean, I can keep going, dude. So if you're going to write something down, if you're going to read something, that's what I would encourage you to read. So, man, look, I appreciate you again for opening up, man. And again, I've said this numerous times. I'm going to continue to say it. It takes a lot to come on here and be like, dude, I'm just going to bear all. And I'm going to allow others to see me, hear me. And there's so much power in that vulnerability and that transparency. And I want you to know, dude, that everything that you felt, I have felt as well. Like we've all been there. I think you just need to choose a better story. Ask a different question. Take what you told me that you believe in yourself, and when you actually communicate it, unequivocally, that person's like, that dude believes in himself. And then when you start to do that, that's going to translate on storage owner conversations. That's going to start to show up. All right?
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
Helpful.
I appreciate you, dude. I know that sometimes it can be difficult to hear some of these things. And so, man, I'm excited about where things are going for you, because I really, truly believe, man, figure this out. Everything else is going to open up for you. And I can't tell you when that deal is going to come. I don't know if it's next week, next month, in 3 months, 6 months. I don't know. I also don't care. And I don't mean that like to come across like, and I don't communicate that in a rude way. Like, obviously I want you to experience success when you're meant to experience success, but I doubt that it's going to happen right now in your current state. Not that it couldn't. I just think you have far better chances if you actually like what you believe in your core is what's actually coming out externally.
I have a call with a seller later today, and this will all be very helpful to reshift my mindset going into that call.
Okay, so that call's in 45 minutes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want you sitting down when you're on that call. I want you to knock out about 30 jumping jacks, maybe some push-ups and some squats, at least 5 minutes before that call. Change your state. Motion creates emotion. Get the blood pumping. I don't want you somber. I don't want you like you feeling like you just had lunch and now you're like tired, lethargic. Like, I want you to get the energy up and running. I want you to stand when you have that conversation, chest out, shoulders back, stand, don't sit. If you can walk around, and I realize that especially if it's, well, if you're going to be on a Google Meet, so maybe you're not able to walk around, but I want you to stand. You have a standing desk, and I want you to be more focused on that seller and their situation and less on documenting every syllable that comes out of their mouth. I'm dead serious. Because I know you. You're going to want to be looking down at your iPad, writing every single thing they say. The conversation will likely be recorded. Just jot down bullet points on important things. I want you looking in their eyes, not looking at your paper most of the time. I want you asking more questions and listening 80% of the time. Let them do the bulk of the talking. And I don't want you to worry about getting a signed contract or closing a deal. Worry about seeing if you can be a solution to whatever problem they have. That's it. That's how you take the pressure off. You're not worried about the deal. You're worried about seeing if you can help that person.
That's awesome.
I'm dead serious. Show up with that energy. Show up with that mindset. Communicate with the level of conviction that I'm communicating to you right now. And I don't know if this is the deal for you or if it's the next conversation or the next one, but do that consistently. You will get a deal. And you'll get the right deal because you know what you're doing. You've put the time and energy in. Now you just got to dig down and it's there for you. You just got to tap into it. You just got to make a decision. We good?
That's great. Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate that.
All right, man. So look, I don't know if it's going to be the next time that we speak, but within the next 2 or 3 conversations, I want to circle back to this moment right here. And I want you to reflect back how that conversation with the seller went. I don't care if it results in a deal, if it results in a follow-up. I'm not concerned about the outcome because I believe the outcome is inevitable, provided you believe in yourself, you shift your energy, you do some of the things we talked about, you keep showing up as the best version of yourself, you take the pressure off, you let go, you let God, right? You stop trying to force everything. Just focus on the seller and their situation. Less in your notepad and documenting everything, more listening to them and asking questions. And I'd love to come back on here, man, and just hear how that conversation went. And I want you to be very hyper aware. Here's the last thing I'll share. I want you to be hyper aware of how you felt. How did you, doing the jumping jacks and the squats and getting the blood pumping, standing up in the call, communicating with a little bit more conviction and confidence, asking questions, the mindset of, I'm not worried about the deal. I'm worried about seeing if I can help this person, if I can structure an offer in a way that gives them what they're looking for or helps them, while it also has to make sense for you, of course. That's how I want you to show up on that conversation. And then, dude, be honest, reflect back and just share with me and with us, how that went. And what, if anything, was different. You good with it?
For sure.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Guys, thank you for tuning in and for being a fly on the wall of these conversations. I trust that you're able to extract some things that maybe you're going through, some things that are relatable to what Dan's going through. We've all had moments where we've doubted ourselves and we felt like we're kind of swimming upstream. And so hopefully you can take some of this and apply it to whatever you might be going through. Or maybe it's something you file away for the future. And subscribe, share this with somebody who you think could benefit from, and then connect with Dan, reach out to him. Be a voice of encouragement, of somebody that anybody would be lucky to do a deal with because of the character, the integrity, aside from the fact that the dude just knows what he's doing. And so with that being said, again, subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, and then I look forward to connecting with Dan, with you again on the next one, and seeing you and just continuing the journey, man, and just watching you grow. So I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
all right.
Alex.
Talk soon.